Good evening, everyone. Might as well, let's try to get started. I want to welcome everybody here tonight, and before I hand it over to Carol and ACT Engineering, we got some good news this week, and this is what we've been talking about for years when we're all working together. And they lifted some regulations which is going to extend us dredging. Right now we could start, I think it was July 1st till the end of October, which made it difficult for us to do what we had to do for the lagoons and then come in to do the private slips. So now we're going to be able to go from July 1st all the way into the next year, all the way to March. So that is something between ACT Engineering and I think a lot of people getting together, and we've been working on this for a long time, but I have to tell you, it's sitting up here and trying to get things done. This is a huge thing. So there was a shellfish issue, and I don't really want to get into too much of it, but just having more time to dredge, hopefully when we get our more permits in, we can do more, and everybody that has a slip will be able to get theirs cleaned out. So that's really good news. So I'm going to hand it over to Carol now. Thank you.
Yeah, I have to say, you all have been with us on this long journey, and working with the time limits that we have had to deal with in the past. It's like, this month, you can't do it during tourist season because that's your economy, and you can't do it. You have to stop at the end of October, the end of November, and everything gets all tangled up. So yes, when the mayor got word from the NJDEP that we were able to continue dredging until March 1, that was like the biggest deal for us. So we were all smiling, and you all should be too, because that really means that you're going to have much more time for the contractors to do private slip dredging, et cetera. So that's just great news, and so I'm just glad we could share that with you because we just found that out. So that's a happy one. Tonight we are really going to talk to you about your private slip dredging. That's pretty much the purpose of this meeting. As you know, you've seen some action out there. There's some dredging going on at this point in time, and it's good to see these things happening, but we've gotten many calls about private slip dredging, and there is a process that is going to take place that I think will work very well for all of the people who want to do their private slips. And so what I'm going to do now is ask Dottie McCrossan, who is your city solicitor, to kind of walk you through the process and tell you more about what it is and how this will take place. And then after Dottie finishes, we'll have some more dialogue, and certainly we'll have a chance for questions and going into more of a dialogue. So, Dottie?
Thanks, Carl. Thank you. So, currently, you are all able to dredge your own private boat slips and private marinas owned by condominiums by getting your own DEP permit and contracting with a contractor to dredge in accordance with that permit and take away the materials to a private site. Can't use the city's site. So that's how you would do this in past years. The city has put into place a program where you will not need to get your own DEP permit. The city has a permit and has gone out to bid and has a contractor to dredge South and Sunny Harbors and Carnival Bayou. And the people who have boat slips in those areas will be able to use the city's permit, enter into an agreement with the contractors who will be dredging in your areas, and get your slips dredged under our permit, under the citywide permit, or under those permits that are in place. So the contractors are for Sunny and South Harbor. It's Trident, and Joe Stewart is here from Trident. You will enter into your contract with Trident, and for Carnival Bayou, it's mobile dredging, and we've got Representative Stephen Simpson and Dean Herbst here from mobile dredging. Participation in this program is completely voluntary. If you don't want your boat slip dredged, you don't have to participate. But if you do, you'll enter into your contract with the contractor who's already mobilized in your lagoon. We anticipate, because of this good news that Carol and the mayor just delivered, that there will be time for all the private boat slips to be dredged. That's new. The contractor's primary responsibility under their contract with the City of Ocean City is to dredge the private areas. But because this timeline has been pushed back, we anticipate there will be time for them to dredge private slips for whoever wishes to participate in this program. So the way this will work is you will enter into an agreement with the dredging contractor who's in your area. You will sign a form that they will bring to you. You will not make any application for a permit to the city. They will file an application with the city for the properties that they've identified wish to be dredged. They will pay $200 a property to get the city permit, and the cost we expect to be $100 per cubic yard that you're going to have removed from your particular slip, plus $3 a cubic yard for an escrow. The escrow will be used to pay the city's inspector who will oversee the dredging of the private areas, because the work is being done under the city's permit, and it's the city's responsibility that the terms and conditions of the permit are being complied with. So you'll post an escrow based on the amount of material you need removed from your slip, and that will be used to pay the inspector who will oversee the dredging at your property. In order for you to participate in the program, you have to have rights in your slip. So we believe that everyone in these areas does have a Tidelands grant or the legal right to do work in these slip areas. But you'll see on the application that the contractor will ask you to sign that you're going to represent whether there is a Tidelands claim. If you have a grant, you know, the answer is no. And then finally, next year, we hope to have the permit to do more dredging. We expect the program to be pretty similar. The city will be identifying the areas most in need of dredging. We'll go out to bid and have a contractor mobilized in those areas, and we hope to be able to offer the boat slip owners in those areas this same opportunity to have their private slips dredged. And I think that's all I need to tell you. In Sunny and South Harbor, the dredging is going to be done mechanically. In Carnival Bayou, it will be done hydraulically. And we are ready for any of your questions after Carol finishes her presentation. You have a question now, ma'am?
I don't like, why don't we do, if you have
You
any
want to hold questions?
Yeah, no, we can do
Okay.
it now.
I'm sorry?
Can we please, okay, if we're going to ask questions now, and I don't care, we can be flexible, but would you please go to the microphone, give us your name and address, because we need this for the record, and then we'll go through this right now, and then we'll come back to other things. Is that okay, Dottie?
Yeah, that's great.
My name is Marie Colby, KOLBE, and I live at 16 Marshall Lane in Ocean City. I was talking to my next door neighbors, and they're not interested in having theirs dredged because the next door neighbors are not going to dredge. And they feel that when it comes, if they have theirs dredged, their silt comes and fill in, and they thought it would be a waste. So they're not going to do it, and I don't know what to do, whether I should do it or not.
Well, I can tell you that, well, you can certainly talk to the contractors about what they feel the effect will be of the adjoining slip not being dredged, but we can't compel anyone to join in this program. It's completely voluntary. So that's a decision that you can make. Possibly you can talk to the contractors.
Well,
but we
can
can't.
the operator say, is it true that the other silt will come from the other slips and go into the deeper part?
You can talk. They will be available after this
Oh, all
meeting.
right, okay, all
back
right.
in the
Now,
lobby.
another thing is, most of my neighbors are gone for the season, and they won't be back until April, May. And that's a little late, isn't it?
Notices were mailed to the property owners at the address at which they received their tax bills. So they should have been notified about tonight's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
The contractors will have their contact information. We will have all of this on the website So if you are talking to your neighbors, encourage them to check the website, but there will be an outreach to all of the owners in these
All right.
areas.
Thank you.
Hi, Jim Coley, 54 West 16th Street. The hydraulic dredging and the mechanical dredging, is it the same price per cubic yard for disposal?
Essentially, yes. Yes,
Okay.
approximately $100 a cubic yard plus the escrow.
Okay. What does the inspection consist of? Are they actually going to measure to make sure the contractor's gotten to the proper depth?
Carol, do you want to talk about how that gets done?
The answer to that is yes. The bathymetric surveys have been completed with all the properties, and so we will be able to identify how much material has been taken out, and it will be monitored, which is part of the reason why there is that escrow for inspections, so that you will know exactly what was taken out that you have bargained for, you have contracted for.
Okay. If it's a condo, 2-unit condo, is it $200 for each unit, or